was, but then I went canoeing and it just got reversed. I was like,
Oh. Yeah. So walk, ask any questions. Sonika, do you know?
yeah.
Okay.
Hi.
Were you in this?
We were in the same.
My God, this is what's happening. My brain is scrambled
You're getting
eggs.
confused because you have so many
No,
now.
I don't, honey. You guys are the originals.
What's the group like this year? Is it a lot of like 20 again, or?
Big. It's big. Everyone came into the room on last Friday, and Adriana and I were like, don't call me. Who are you coming? But there's 7 of them who are just doing immersion,
Okay.
which is good.
That's one.
Just like scheduling and like childcare. So I think we have 28, and then 21 will go through. It's a lot. And then Abby's a sister again, Camden, Caroline, who you might have seen, long hair, and Yesenia.
Group.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. It is crazy to think it's already been a year. But okay, same old.
Yeah.
Just life.
I love the picture with the parents this past weekend.
Oh my god, I know. God bless them. Bless the parents.
The harvests, the gardens.
We had so much fun. Yeah, my brother's been traveling for work a ton, so my mom watches his pets, and she like can't handle it anymore. It's like the dog's huge and pulls her around, and the cats are like all over the place.
Oh, there's like a lot of cats.
Yeah, there's 3. So I go home to help her.
Cute.
Because it's just too much.
Does he live close by? Or
He lives in Scranton, so
Okay.
we're all like 3 hours within 3 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a fun season of like family.
I love it.
Lots more coming between now and December, and
Yeah.
we'll be with them like
All the
every
time.
other weekend. So yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm like,
I know.
find peace of mind.
Calm myself back. What's the sound? Hi. How are you? Oh, thank you. It's hair oil day. It's gonna get washed tomorrow. I put almond oil in it right before I wash it, and then I have this like Ayurvedic oil that I got underneath from India. I just like douse it in my hair. Hence the braids.
And Kayla and Molly are coming too, so 2 more.
You got people to touch? Just saw it. She said that they were going to do this. Yeah, they are. Yay! Okay. Great. You excited?
Yeah, I'm actually so like just got my tickets yesterday.
You going for lunch? When you guys go, do you go to the same venue or you go to the place?
Usually when you just like both my husband and my family is in Gurgaon, so we
Yeah.
everybody lives there, so it's just no time to kind of go anywhere else.
That's great.
And we just tell them in advance we don't want to fly because we've been flying for like 13 hours. Let's just stay in one city,
Yeah.
please.
Please come to us.
Yeah, come to us.
How do you get there? What's the flight?
Yes, United.
That's great.
Anisha, we do therapy balls.
Therapy balls, yeah, we can grab all the things. We'll start soon. But we'll use 2 blocks, blanket, strap, and then there's some therapy balls here. We'll get some time to roll later on in class. And if you need any of this, you can grab them now, or Kashika and I can also bring them to you later. But 5 whole minutes, everyone's so early and on time. 5 minutes before yoga class is like a lifetime. So get comfortable, lay down, relax, and we'll start really soon. We're getting out a bunch of people to come. My dad back in India next Wednesday. And he like not panics, but every time I'm like, make a schedule each day, let's stick to that schedule. But yesterday he was like, I have to go to Delaware today because I need to get all this new stuff. And I was like, he's in Delaware for the summer stuff or anything. Since I was in high school, we've been going every day to electronics. So we went to the Apple store. I got a new phone. Really? In Christiana Mall? No. Oh. In the city. Delaware. Delaware. Yeah.
I've been there once because I had to like buy a couple of iPad, laptop stuff.
That's exactly what he did all in one.
No tax.
No tax. But now I'm like, ooh, am I? Hi, honey. Now I'm like, what is this new phone?
Oh my god.
Yeah. What's it? 16.
This has the new camera.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't have the 3. I was at the point in the store where I was like, I don't care. I don't care. Give me anything that you want. I can't do it. But
Oh, I'm very bad at it. It's deciding. I just don't understand.
Me.
Mine's working fine. Why do I need like?
something new. But I got suckered. I was like, he's getting a new one. I
Which
want a
color
new.
did you get?
They had one blue,
The aqua.
aquamarine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they had all the gadgets.
yeah.
But I shot myself in the foot because I don't know if you do this, meaning I never update my phone or back it up. And he was like, you have to back it up. And so I was there for like 4 hours just staring at it, being like, please, please.
I get it.
But we're here now. No? Yesenia's texting saying mic is not on. Sounds good. Okay. Yeah, you're great there. Mm-hmm. Oh, great. Everyone's here. Anyone need any props we can grab for you? Blocks, blanket, therapy balls, strap, all the good stuff. One day we'll do something with bolsters, but I haven't figured it out yet.
I did Eric's restorator like a couple months before. It was really good, but I was trying to figure out how do you introduce this in regular because it's like it's good.
So many props.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many props. Yeah.
But I think here everyone's like ready to grab them, which is good. I know every time I take class, I park like directly in front of the closet and lay down, and I'm like, just step on me, step over me, step on me. I do not exist. Okay, we'll get started. Good to see you. Happy Monday. Really nice you guys are all here in this weather. A dream. If it gets too hot or cold at any point, I'll turn the fans on, I'll turn the AC on. We'll get a little warm today, but do keep me posted on how you're feeling, because my dad's friend came to town last night, who I haven't seen since I was 4, and which is, always kind of like I haven't seen you since you were a baby. And I'm like, I have no recollection. I'm so sorry, but it's great that you're here. And she asked me what kind of yoga I teach. And after teaching now for 10 years, if not longer, I only have an answer to what yoga I don't teach. I'm like, I know what I teach, but here are all the things that I don't. And one of them is not hot yoga. And those that practice it, blessings to you. I just never drink enough water in order to practice hot yoga. I always get dehydrated. So I'm telling you that now because I love to turn the air conditioning on. Tell me when you need it on. Yeah? All right, for those of us that are new to one another, lots of you look familiar, but just in case, my name is Anisha, and we're lucky each and every week to have Kashika with us here assisting. So I'll be practicing from the mat, she'll be walking around. Like I mentioned each week, ask her any questions, tell her to bring you things. She might give some assist. She'll always tell you what she's going to do before. And if at any point you're like, no, just tell her to go away. Don't come close to me. No harm, no foul. But it's a real gift to be able to have her in the room, because what a great teacher to have with us. So thank you. All right, we're in week 2 of October. And last week we started talking about the stories of the goddess. So right now, I said that it started on October 9th, but it actually started on October 3rd. We're right in the middle of the 9-night and 9-day celebration of the goddess. It's called Navratri, Nava meaning 9, Ratri meaning night. And each day of the celebration, we do a different story or a different tradition or a different recollection of infinite versions of the goddess herself. Her statues are up here. She's peppered all throughout the studio. There's some beautiful photos of her downstairs in Larry's studio if you have a time to go look at them. But the studio is also named after not just Queen Village, but the 3 main Hindu deities and the yogic deities in the yogic tradition. There's Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom and knowledge. There's Lakshmi, the goddess of beauty and abundance. And today's story is going to be about the different avatars of the goddess Durga, the warrior goddess, the great mother. And I'll tie it into why we're talking about her today. So the story today starts off, once upon a time, a long, long time ago, there was 2 demonic brothers. And their names were Shumba and Nishumba. And they were tasked with kind of conquering worlds and universes. And their general said, okay, go do what you need to do, take over lands, find me some nice things, and come back to me with them. So they start to traverse the entire landscape and build this demonic army. And after a while, they come into the foothills of the Himalayas. It's the region in northwestern India where it's lush, fertile soil, and it's the home of one of the great goddesses, Parvati. She's the goddess of the householder. She's the one that we see who looks most like us. She wears plain clothes. She has 2 arms. She tends to her land. And if we remember, if we were together last month, she's the mother of, I'm pointing to the stuffed animal on top of the camera. She's the mother of Ganesh, the elephant-headed god. And her husband is Shiva, the lord of destruction, the great lord of yoga. So these 2 demonic brothers stumble upon Parvati, the goddess of the householder, and they say, wow, you're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. You got to marry our general. Also, some of you know this. I'll say it every class. Take the way that I tell the stories with a thick grain of seasoning salt, because nowhere in the literature will you hear like, wow, you're so gorgeous. Like, come marry our... There's much more academic versions of saying this, but for the sake of our noon class today, this is how I'm going to tell them to you. They say, you have to marry our general. Come back with us. And now Parvati says to them, okay, the only way I'm going to do that, I've taken a vow, and the only way I'll do that is if I defeat whoever I marry in battle. I have to kill them in battle, and then only will I marry them. I'm like, but they say, okay, fine, we'll tend to this request. And so what they do is they come back with an entire demonic army and with the general himself, who kind of stands at the threshold of her home. And as Parvati, the goddess of the householder, sees them coming, she frowns, and from the furrow in her eyebrow, she emits and radiates this new version of herself, the goddess, the warrior goddess, Durga. So Parvati's standing in the threshold of her home, and then in the middle of the battlefield emerges Durga. She's the divine mother, the great warrior who rides into battle on the back of a lion or a tiger, and she has 10 arms. We talked about her last week, and in each one of her arms, she's wielding a different piece of weaponry, from a trident to a discus to a bow and arrow, everything that she needs to defeat her demons. And very quickly, she starts to defeat this entire demonic army. And she says, you know, I could use a little help with this. I'm doing okay, but I could use some reinforcements. And so Durga frowns, and from the furrow in her eyebrow emits Kali. And Kali is this version of the goddess she's always seen with her hair wildly out. She wears a necklace of 1,000 skulls. Her tongue is always rolling out of her mouth, which pertains to next week's story. But she is the version of the goddess at her most ferocious, that energy that exists within each and every one of us that calls you into action. She comes to play when things are just hitting the fan. And so now the three of them, Parvati standing at the threshold, Durga in the middle of the battlefield, and Kali the ferocious encircling all of them, start to quickly defeat this entire demonic army. And within an instant, they kill those two demonic brothers who were tasked with the force of coming to conquer worlds and territories. Until next week, when we got to deal with the general. So I'll leave you on a little cliffhanger before we go to next week. But why am I telling you this story? One, what an incredible treat. What an incredible gift to be able to have these stories in generations that get to translate, that we get to listen to now in the city of Philadelphia on a Monday afternoon. But two, the stories, each one of the characters in the stories represents a different dimension of ourselves. All of the qualities that exist in the demons, all of the qualities that exist in the goddess, all of the qualities that exist in the demonic army are aspects of our human existence. And so when you remember, and when we think about this story, it's that there are infinite versions of yourself within yourself already. You are the householder. You are also the divine warrior. You are also the ferocious and everything else in between, because Parvati, Durga, and Kali, those three goddesses, they are the same person. Although they look like different, they all exist in the same lineage and energy, and they exist when the time comes when they're needed the most. So Parvati exists as her householder form when she's in her home. She exists as the warrior when she needs to come and take action. And she exists as the ferocious when the time comes, when she needs to conquer and take over worlds that she needs to inhabit. So I mention this to you now because today's practice, we're going to practice a lot of poses of Durga's weaponry. We're going to do bow pose, trident pose, every aspect that she holds. And the question that I ask for you is, which version of yourself reveals itself to you? Which version of yourself, as we move through these poses, calls to you? And which version of yourself do you see at any given moment of the day? Take breaks, drink lots of water. The air will turn on, our weaponry of air conditioning to help combat sweat and heat. We'll use it all to our advantage, but I'm really happy you guys are here. Okay, I'm getting quicker. That was 7.5 minutes. I know it felt like a long time, but yesterday I told that story for an hour, so we're distilling it down. Let's get started in a comfortable seat, however that looks for you. You're more than welcome to start lying down. You're more than welcome to start cross-legged or on your knees. If you're seated, I invite you to sit up on some props, our modern day weaponry, to help you give some height in your hips and in your low back. But as you find and arrive in your seat, however that looks, let your eyes either fully close or soften to a point. And as you close your eyes, take this time to begin to listen for your breath. When we close our eyes, it gives us even a moment to see ourselves more clearly than before, to see those infinite versions of yourself that exist here in this seat you've taken. So with your eyes closed and that attention turned so deeply inward, can you begin to listen for and remember your breath? Let each inhale move from your nose down into your belly and up into your heart. And as you exhale, let the breath go up and out through every fiber of your being. Continue with a few more of those breaths at your pace, letting each breath move in, down, and wide, anchoring you to yourself, to the earth. And each breath out pours itself up, out, and through you. Durga, that warrior goddess, has all the weaponry that she needs to defeat the demons she encounters. And as she is a version of you, just as you are a version of her, you have all of the weaponry that you need in the fluency of your breath. So as we start our time together with 3 more rounds of that same breath, followed by the sound of 1 Om, the sound that reminds you that your voice, so powerful and steady, can be combined in the symphony of others around you. You're more than welcome to simply listen, let the sound wash its way over you, or join along. But as the time comes, draw your hands to anywhere that feels center for you, on your body or in front of your heart. Wait for your next inhale as it fills you up. And exhale to let that breath go. 2 more times on your own. Inhale in for Om. Om. Keep that connection to yourself as best as you can. And as you release your hands, gently blink your eyes open. Let's start in tabletop to begin linking movement and breath together through a few rounds of cat and cow. Have your blocks framing out the front of your mat. You may or may not use them as we start to move about. But as you make your way to all 4s, spread your fingers as wide as you can. Have your toes tucked or untucked back behind you. Just feel them behind you. And begin to round and arch your spine, moving with your breath. Let's go for 5 or 6 breaths, just working on your own. Feel free to stay more rounded or arched for a few extra cycles. You might move forward and back, moving more towards child's pose and letting your shoulders come forward over your wrists. But just take this time to feel not how just your body moves in space, but how your breath and your body can start to harmonize with one another. Even as you move through these rounds of cat and cow, what versions of yourself come to you? Maybe it's new sensations that you feel in your body. Maybe it's just remembering your breath a second sooner than the first round. But take 1 more slow breath in wherever you are, and a longer breath out in each direction. Make your way back to table, come to your neutral spine. And now walk those hands a handprint forward of your shoulders. Walk your knees back behind your hips. And with your toes tucked under, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take as much time or as many breaths as you'd like to find your way there. In your down dog, you might stay still and steady. Or you might slowly pedal your heels 1 at a time from side to side as you stick your hips up and back to the wall behind you. Nice, Ian. Or even soften and straighten both legs simultaneously. But can it be an offering to your breath, a deeper breath in and a longer breath out? Now at the bottom of your exhale, lift your heels high, soften your knees, peek forward, and 1 foot at a time, walk your feet up towards your hands to come into your forward fold. I like to have those blocks underneath my hands so the floor comes high up to meet me. You might widen your feet 1 inch or 2, maybe even the knees soften to give your low back some extra space. But take a breath or 2 here as you bow in towards yourself, a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And now after a few breaths, climb your hands to your hips, stand down through your legs, and an inhale brings you all the way up to rise as you release your hands by your sides. With your feet underneath your hips, wait for your next inhale as the arms go forward and up. And on your exhale, soften your knees to fold over your legs. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen. Reach the chest forward. And as you exhale, step it back to plank pose. Find the top of your push-up. With your knees up or down, Really push down into the floor to think tailbone towards your heels and chest forward. Grow longer in each direction. Big breath in. And on your exhale, bend your elbows to lower all the way down to your belly. Stretch your legs back behind you. And as you rise, inhale for cobra or baby cobra. Take a breath. And exhale to bring it back to downward facing dog or tabletop or child's pose for 3 steady breaths. We'll do that round again in a moment, that round of Surya Namaskar, sun salutations. And as you pause here for another breath or two, just take notice of what version of yourself reveals itself to you. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out through every direction of your being. When you find your next breath, there's no rush. Lift your heels high, soften your knees, look forward, and come forward to the top of your mat, your standing forward fold. Slow inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen. Reach forward through your heart. And as you exhale, can you keep that length as you fold and bow in? Take a breath in to rise. Stand through your legs, reach up, touch the sky. And as you exhale, let the hands come down by your sides. No rush. One more time. Really follow your breath more than my voice. As you inhale, reach up. On your exhale, fold. Uttanasana. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen. Ardha Uttanasana. And on your exhale, the whole breath brings you back to plank. Take a full round of breath here. Slide the ears back so your head is in line with your heart. And exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Slow, steady breath in to rise, Bhujangasana. Can you hug your legs towards each other as you lift up through the heart? And exhale to take it back to downward facing dog, or table, or child's pose. 3 more slow, steady breaths. Take a longer breath in through the nose, and a steadier breath out through your nose or parted lips. And when you find your next breath, let the heels lift, soften your knees, look forward, and come forward to the top of your mat, standing forward fold. Slow inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen, grow long. And on your exhale, fold as you bow into yourself. Take a breath in to rise, stand through your legs, grow taller as you reach the arms up. And on your exhale, let your hands come down by your sides. Good. Make an X with your forearms, favorite forearm on top. And as you bend your knees and sit your hips back, bring your fingertips to your inner thighs. Your fingertips will face down towards the floor, and give yourself some pressure here. So press your skin into your muscle into your bones, and then use your hands to try and roll the inner thighs down towards the earth. When I do that, it feels like my tush can stick back towards the wall behind me, some length in the low back. And as you keep spinning the inner thighs down, let the chest lift up to the sky. Take a big breath in here. Fill up your belly, fill up your chest. Stay for your exhale. Let your hips sit 2 inches lower as you lift your heart up to the sky. You can keep your hands here for 1 more breath. Really roll those inner thighs down towards the earth, or you might reach the arms up overhead, but big breath in. Stay for the exhale. Sit 1 inch lower as you lift your heart up to the sky. And now inhale to come all the way to rise. Reach up, touch the sky, and on your exhale, fold and bow in. Keep your right foot forward, step your left foot all the way back to catch your lunge. And now gently lower your left knee down onto the floor or a blanket if you'd like some extra padding. Once that knee is down, climb your hands up onto your hips or onto the front thigh. And now similarly, bring your left hand to the back of your left leg or as far down as you can reach. If you can hold the inseam of your left pant leg, try to spin your left inner thigh up to the sky. You might feel your left hip wrap forward as you lift up through your chest. Feel free to stay here with your right hand on your thigh. You might reach the right arm up. You might even reach the left arm up to the sky. But feel that back left leg. Can you lift the inside of your left thigh to the sky as you look away from the ground? Take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale. Let the right thigh get heavier as you lift the left inner thigh up to the sky. And now on your next breath, bring your hands down to the ground. Let's step it forward. All the hops you need for your left foot to meet the right. Wait for your inhale as you come up halfway to lengthen. And on your exhale, fold, bowing in. Bring your feet 1 fist or 2 fist width distances apart. And as you bend your knees, sit your hips back. 1 more round of chair pose. You can keep your hands on your thighs. They can come up overhead. If it helped to make that X with your forearms, you can go there too. But think inner thighs down towards the earth. Stick your tush back towards the wall behind you. And as you lift up through the heart, take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale. Let your hips get heavier as you lift your heart up to the sky. Take 1 more breath. Fill the belly. Fill up into the chest. Stay for the exhale. Let the tush get heavier as you lift your chest up to the sky. And now big breath in. Come up to rise. Grow taller. Reach up. And on your exhale, fold. Bowing in. Other side. Left foot stays forward. Step your right foot back to catch your lunge. And now lower your right knee down onto the floor or blanket. Once the knee comes down, hands can climb up onto your hips. And now this is going to help us as we move through later. If it felt useful, bring your right hand to the back of your right thigh. And it's a small action of lifting your right inner thigh to the sky so your right hip wraps more forward. And now as you lift your chest, look away from the ground, stay right here. Maybe the left arm reaches to the sky, maybe the right arm reaches to the sky. But feel that back right leg behind you. Keep spinning your right inner thigh up. Slide the left hip back. And as you look away from the floor, take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale. You might bend into the left thigh as you lift your right inner thigh up to the sky. And now inhale to release the hands back down to the ground. Plant your palms. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Step back through the left leg and take a breath or two to see what you feel here. On your inhale, come forward to plank pose, the top of your push-up. As you exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Wait for your breath in to rise. For cobra, lift up through the chest. Hug the shoulder blades together as you lift your heart. And exhale to take it back to downward facing dog. Slow, steady breath in, and a clear, full breath out. And on your next inhale, lift the right leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Spin your back heel to the floor, and on your inhale, rise, warrior 2, facing the long edge of your mat. See that the right knee and the right toes point straight ahead. And it's a small action. Even look down at your right heel. And without moving it, can you squeeze your right heel to the left side of your mat and then guide your right knee open towards your pinky toes? I feel that in the right butt cheek. Now look away from the ground, reach out through the fingertips, take a big breath in. And as you exhale, bend 1 more inch into that front thigh. Now let's move with the breath. As you inhale, straighten the right leg, reach the arms up. On your exhale, back to warrior 2, bend the knee 2 more times. Inhale, reach up, fill up into the belly. As you exhale, bend into the front thigh. Can you crown of your head grow tall? 1 more, inhale, get taller, reach up. And as you exhale, let the front thigh descend. Now keep your legs steady, flip the right palm up, reach up and back to take it to that reverse warrior. As you stretch back through the right fingertips, bend into the right thigh and guide your right knee open towards those pinky toes. And now inhale brings you all the way up through center. Press the right leg straight and turn your right toes to face the long edge of your mat. There should be enough space, but if it feels like there's a butt that's going to come in front of you when you fold, you might stagger or lean to the side. And now hinge at your hips. As you fold, bring your hands to blocks or the ground out in front of your feet. Teeny bend in your knees just so that they don't fully lock. And now can you squeeze your legs together as if the right foot could pull back and the left foot could pull forward. You'll feel those inner thighs engage. Now take a big breath in here. And as you exhale, you might let the elbows soften as your head gets heavier to the earth. Take a bigger breath in, squeeze your legs towards each other. And as you exhale, let the whole spine, the crown of your head, soften to the earth. Okay, the head stays heavy. We're going to take it back to down dog. Walk your hands to frame out your right foot, bend your right knee, and step the right foot back to meet your left as you pedal the heels from side to side. And now on your next inhale, just a few more times together, come forward to plank pose. As you exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Before we lift into cobra, bring your hands as wide as your mat, take up some space, point your feet back behind you. And now stay looking down to the ground as you inhale to rise and lift your chest up. Good, as you lift, really feel both feet back behind you. Press your toenails down into the earth. And now look down at the ground. You might feel or look at your belly. Can you slide those low ribs back to steady the middle of your back? And as the low ribs slide back, now tack it all the way together, shoulder blades together. Slide the ears back as the low ribs keep sliding back. One more breath in. And on your exhale, release, lower down to the ground. Tuck your toes, plant your palms, push the floor away from you, come up to table or plank. And on your exhale, we meet in downward facing dog. A full, steady breath in and a long, clear breath out through every direction of you. One more side, float the left leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Spin your back foot to the floor. And on your inhale, rise. Virabhadrasana 2 on the second side. Good. It's a small action. It's going to help us as we move towards our back bends. Can you squeeze your left heel an inch to the right? And then as the left heel squeezes to the middle of your mat, guide your left knee open towards those pinky toes. Now bend into the left thigh as you look away from the ground. Take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale. Offer the breath out. Now let's go with the breath. As you inhale, straighten your right leg, grow taller. On your exhale, bend into the front thigh. 2 more. Breathe into your belly. Breathe into your chest. And as you exhale, descend. Can the crown of your head stay reaching to the sky? 1 more. Big breath in. Reach up. And as you exhale, let the front thigh get heavier. Now flip your left palm to the sky. How big of an arc can you make as you tip back to reverse? Stretch back through the left fingertips. Slide the ears back to lift your chin. And as you bend into the left thigh, guide your left knee open towards those pinky toes. Inhale to come all the way up through center. Push the left leg straight. And now turn your left toes to face the long edge of your mat. We'll take a shoulder stretch with this one. So if you want to use your strap, you can grab it now. I like to hold a strap between my hands because it gives my chest lots of extra room. You can also interlace your fingers, but start with your elbows very bent to start. Hug your shoulder blades together. And now as you lift your chest, take a big breath in. Watch for the butts in front of you as you hinge at your hips and fold and reach your arms with or without the strap up to the sky. Tiny bend in your knees so that they don't lock. Tiny bend in your elbows so that they don't lock. And as you tug your strap apart, tug your fingers apart, hug your shoulder blades towards one another to feel the front of your chest broaden. Take a bigger breath in. Stay for your exhale. Can you think crown of your head towards the earth? Even gently lift your chin away from your chest. And now on your inhale, release the hands back to your butt. Ditch your strap if you have it. Turn the left knee and toes to catch your lunge. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Step back through the left leg. Pedal your heels one at a time. Notice what you feel and see. And now you can stay right here breathing. You might lower your knees to the ground and take a few breaths in table or child's pose. Or you might let your breath take you through one of those linking vinyasas we've done together already. There's no wrong answer, but let it be what's in service to your breath. Take a deeper breath in and long, steady breaths out through every direction of your being. After your next few breaths, there's no rush. Stay here as long as you need. When you make your way back to downward facing dog, we've got some of those thighs to address. So next inhale, float the right leg up and back and bring it through to lizard lunge or pigeon pose. So if pigeon with your right knee towards your right wrist doesn't feel great on the hip or on the knee for any reason, you can come to this lizard lunge variation. Same hip opener, just less intensity on the knee. But we'll take this one into a thigh stretch. So whether you're in pigeon or lizard, come up onto your fingertips or blocks. way far forward in front of you. And as you come up onto your fingertips or blocks, feel the back knee on the ground and hug your back knee forward so you lift off of your right butt cheek. Bend your left knee, lift your left toes up off the floor. You can stay right here breathing. Or with your right hand down, let your left hand reach around for your left foot. Oh yeah. No one else? Okay. Oh, okay, so as you hold the strap or the foot, or maybe you're wearing long pants and you grab the leg of your pants, think ribs back towards the back of your mat, left shoulder up and back, and now look away from the ground. Take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale as you lift your heart up to the sky. And now on your inhale, release the hold of that leg. Not quite done yet. Lower down onto your forearms just for a moment. Interlace your fingers and bring the webbing of your hands together. Now tuck your left toes under, lift the left knee up off the ground, and slide your right leg back to meet your left. We'll all meet in forearm plank from lizard or pigeon pose. Good. See that instead of butts high in the air, you might walk your feet back a centimeter or two and think tailbone towards your heels and slide your heart forward. Now offer it to your breath. Take a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. Can your tailbone grow longer as the heart reaches forward to the front of the room? Take one more breath in. Stay for your exhale. And now lower the knees to the floor. Lower your belly. Lower your chest. Make a pillow with your hands. Close your eyes and listen for that breath. Might have been goddess of the householder in those cat-cows. And now the version of yourself in forearm plank might be the ferocious or the soft. But the beauty of this practice is that it shows you which version of yourself reveals itself to you. So as you lay here on the ground, try to listen for your breath. And underneath your breath, you might feel and listen for the beating of your heart. Slow down the next breath in and really offer every drop of your exhale out. Let's do one more side. So as you come back through center, hands to either side of your chest, tuck your toes under, compress yourself up through the tabletop or plank pose, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a deeper breath in through the nose and a long, full breath out through your nose or parted lips. Now wait for the inhale as you float the left leg up and back. Lizard or pigeon pose. It can be different depending on what you're working with in the knee or in the hip. But if you are in the pigeon variation, check to see that your left knee is all the way wide to the left side of your mat, wider than your hip. This will help you steady your balance. And as you come up onto your fingertips, I like to come up onto blocks to give me lots of space. But feel that back knee down on the ground and gently hug your back knee forward. You're literally uplifting yourself up off the earth. And as you hug the back knee forward, bend your right knee, lift the toes up. Take a breath here. There's so much to do. Or you might let your right hand reach around for the right foot. You might find your strap to lasso around the foot. You might hold on to the leg of your pants. But as you find sensation in that right thigh, take a deep breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. Can those ribs move back? Notice what that does in the right thigh as you shrug the right shoulder up and back. A bigger breath in and a deeper breath out. And now on your inhale, release the hold of your leg. Lower your forearms down onto the ground one last time. Interlace that awkward thumb or pinky on top. And as you tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee up off the earth, slide your left leg back to meet your right forearm plank. Knees down or up to you. But can you walk your knees or feet back a centimeter more towards the back of your mat? And now think tail towards your heels. That'll feel the low belly ignite as the heart slides forward. Slow and steady that breath down. Take a deep breath in. Stay for the exhales. You offer all of the breath out. Can you take a few more? Hug your legs towards each other. Hug the thighs in. And as the tailbone reaches back, heart goes forward. One more breath in. And on your exhale, release. Lower the knees, the belly, the chest. Make a pillow. Rest on the other cheek or on your forehead. And feel for and listen for that breath. Can you send the breath from your nose down into your belly? Notice how that expands the low back. Breathe into your belly and then up into your chest. And see how that broadens through the whole back of your body, touching the air above you. And now if you're on a cheek or on a palm, just switch sides and take one more full breath in through the nose. And even open your mouth to let all of that breath go. Okay, hands come to either side of your chest. Press yourself up through to tabletop. You can sit back onto your heels, sip some water, shake it out. Comfortably warm. The forearm planks do it. I'm waterfalling. Water, take breaks. So we've made it. We're going to try 3 rounds of Dhanurasana, bow pose. And so the first one that we'll do is the one unbound. We'll get some therapy balls into the thighs. So if you need some therapy balls, you can raise a hand and Kaushika and I can bring them over to you. And then we'll try out 2 more. And Dhanurasana, bow pose. This one, she's not holding it, but it's that belly down backward bend, like the bow and arrow. And one of the stories goes in part of Durga's weaponry is that she was able to hold the bow and arrow and it never missed its target. It was always able to strike anything that it attended to. And so these poses, I mention this because, we think, or I think, yes, bow pose, a great chest opener, a great pose to help contract the muscles and the entire back of the body. But there's also so much more significance to each and every one of these poses that make them greater than the world that we start to see. So I invite you, as we go through 3 separate rounds, to let it be an offering to your breath. Take breaks, take what you need. You can also rest for all 3 of those rounds, because we're going to do that right on the other side. But have your therapy balls off to the side. We're going to use them right in the middle. And then come back to lay on your belly. And as you come to lay on your belly, reach your arms alongside of you, bend your knees, and flex your feet. So for this first one, I'll talk you through the one that's unbound without actually your hands reaching for the feet. You'll start to work those hamstrings. But before we lift up, and your knees are bent, feet are flexed, like you can make 2 perfect footprints on the sky, can you hug your inner thighs towards each other? They don't have to touch, but feel them hug in, like you have an X between like you're making that X with your forearms. Now shrug your shoulders to your ears. Hug your shoulder blades towards each other. And as you inhale, lift your head, lift your chest, float your palms up off the earth, and exhale to let the heels lift up towards the sky, to lift the thighs. Now close or soften your eyes and really listen for your breath. With each inhale, with the knees bent, hug your inner thighs towards each other. Think heels up towards the ceiling. And as you hug the shoulder blades together, lift your palms 1 more inch and try to raise the roof with your feet. 1 more breath in. And on your exhale, release. Lower all the way down. Make a pillow. Rest on your cheek. Rest on your forehead. You can wiggle your butt from side to side or stay really still. But feel for and really listen for that breath. Okay, before we go to the second and third round, I want to get some therapy balls into the thighs. So you can take the therapy balls, take one of them out of their tote. You can use your second one there as backup. Stay down on your belly and bring one of the therapy balls right above your right knee at the bottom of your right thigh. There's no wrong place for it to go. We'll move them around a bit, but somewhere at the base of your right thigh, top of the knee. And now make a pillow with your hands. Get as comfortable as you can. Stretch both legs back behind you. And now start to bend and straighten your right knee where the therapy ball is. Yeah. I can't remember the last time I did it, but bend and straighten. You might notice that there's a different sensation when it's bent versus straight. And now keep your right knee bent and move the right knee to the right and foot to the left. So you come more to the inner right thigh, and then knee to the left and foot to the right. So you come to the outer thigh. And now go back and forth a few times at your pace. Try to unclench your fists and your fingers. Soften your jaw, your chest. And can you really listen for your breath? A bigger breath in. And even open your mouth to let all of that breath go. The beauty of the therapy balls is for some of us, this feels like, okay, I can breathe here, I'm all right here. For others, me, I'm like, who is she? What's happening in this leg? I have no idea. But the whole point of this therapy ball work is, yes, to create space where there might not have been before, but really to invite bigger and fuller breaths. And get almost the memory of that muscle more palpable with the therapy ball. So after you've spent a few moments in the bottom of your right thigh, draw the right knee through center. Let's come a little higher. Use your hand and pull the therapy ball up to the middle of your thigh. Rest on the other palm or on your other cheek. Get as comfortable as you can in your upper body. And then start the same. Bend and straighten the knee. Let the knee go from left to right, from inner to outer thigh. And see if that left leg can be heavy behind you. If you can let your tongue release away from the top of your mouth. If you can soften the space between your eyebrows. And widen the space in the upper chest. But a big breath in through the nose. And even open your mouth to really let that breath go. Now after a few breaths here in the middle of your thigh, draw the leg through center. Pop the therapy ball out. Stretch both legs back behind you. And before we go to the second side, just close your eyes for a moment and notice what you don't see with your eyes, but you might very clearly feel. Which version of yourself reveals itself to you? One leg might feel longer or shorter or heavier or lighter. But take just even a second to see what you notice. Now as we make our way to the second side, you can grab the other therapy ball or the same one, and we start again, right above the left knee, somewhere at the bottom of your left thigh. Pillow with your hands, you can even rest on your blanket. Get as comfortable as you possibly can in your upper body. And as you bend and straighten that left knee, let the knee move from left to right and right to left. There's sometimes in class when folks will ask, like, can I roll my lower back out? I'm like, absolutely, you definitely can. But I find that when I roll my thighs and my butt, the glutes, those are the two places that create so much more space in the low back than just rolling the low back out, because they're all connected with each other. So as you take this time to notice what you're feeling in that left thigh, can you listen for your breath? The greatest tool you have in your arsenal to help you defeat not demonic brothers or a demonic army coming to attack you, but a therapy ball in the thigh might feel like something's going on. Take bigger breaths in and longer breaths out. And then it's self-guided, so when you've spent enough time in the middle, bottom of your thigh, come up a few inches higher. You can use your hand to pull the therapy ball up to the middle of that left thigh. Other palm, other cheek. Get as comfortable as you can as you bend and straighten the knee and let the knee go from left to right. One of the other great stories of Kali that I'll tell you next week, Kali the Ferocious, is that after she defeats all of these demons and consumes them, she's in this like incredible dance of unbridled rage. Like she cannot control herself. And Shiva, her divine consort, He sees this happening, and he says the only way that she's going to calm is if she remembers who I am. And so he lays himself down on the battlefield, and she steps on him, and it cools her. It literally cools her to call herself back. And so here, as you lay on the floor with that therapy ball in your thigh, can you take this time to just feel what it's like to be on the ground, to call yourself back to yourself? Take a bigger breath in, and even open your mouth to really let that breath go. And after a few breaths, draw the left knee through center, pop the therapy ball out, stretch your legs back behind you, and close your eyes to notice what a difference really starts to make. Maybe it's a small, subtle shift. Maybe it's noticing something slightly more different. But can you send your breath in and down into the memory of where the therapy balls were? And as you exhale, let all of that breath go. So now the hardest part of class now is moving again. We're going to take what we just did in the thighs and see if it created any difference in 2 more rounds of Dhanurasana. You are more than welcome to stay here laying on the ground. We'll meet you there very soon. Or for 2 more times, stretch your arms alongside of you, bend your knees, and flex your feet. You can do the one with your arms free, unbound again, or your hands might reach back to hold onto the pinky side edges of your feet. But before you lift up, press your thighs down into the earth and hug those inner thighs towards each other. This will clear space in the low back. Now as you inhale, lift your head, lift your chest. If you're not holding your legs, lift your heels up to the sky. If you are holding your legs, push your feet back into your hands and lift your heels to the ceiling. Close or soften your eyes and listen for that breath. Can you push the feet back, lift your heels up as you lift up through the heart, and take a bigger breath in. Stay for your exhale, slide the ears back to let the head be in line with your heart. And now on your inhale, release the hold of your legs. Make a pillow with your hands. Stretch your legs back behind you and fill your belly up with breath. A bigger breath in and a long, clear, steady breath out through every fiber of your being. Now one last round. Again, stay right here, letting your breath be full and steady. Or you might bend your knees, flex your feet, and reach your hands back for your feet, your ankles, or even your shins. If you're moving into this bound Dhanurasana, everyone press your thighs down, hug your thighs towards each other. And now as you inhale, kick your feet back to lift your heels up as you lift up through the heart. Close or soften your eyes and really listen for your breath. If you're holding onto the legs, push your right leg back into your right hand, lift your right heel 1 more inch to the sky. Push your left leg back into your left hand, lift your left heel up to the sky. And now push both feet back into your hands, lift both heels up as you lift up through the chest. 1 more breath in. And on your exhale, release, lower all the way down. Rest on your palm, rest on your cheek. You can windshield wiper your knees or wiggle your butt, but listen for your breath. Back bends, like those 3 that we just did, are thought to make the rate of your heart increase, to make you sweat a little more, to have the breath begin to become shorter. So as you lay here against the ground, can you take a deeper breath in and a long exhale out till the whole bottom of your breath pours itself through you. Okay. As you make your way back through center, we'll press ourselves up to tabletop just for a moment so we can flip over onto our backs with your heads up towards me, your feet to the wall behind you. Have one of your blocks within a grabbable distance, just off to one side, and come to lay down on the ground with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Just watch for any props or neighbors as you gently drop your knees from right to left, clearing some space in the low back, in and through the glutes. A big breath in through the nose, And long exhales out through the nose or mouth. Now, after you've gone evenly a few times from side to side, draw the knees and feet back through center and give the left leg a hug in towards your chest. Make some circles with just the left foot or ankle. Spread the left toes, point the toes as you take a bigger breath in and a longer breath out. And now straighten your right leg long out in front of you. For a twist on our back, let your right hand hold the left thigh and move the left leg up and over to the right hand side. I like to place blocks underneath that left thigh so the floor comes higher up to meet me. It's less about how deep of a twist you can be in, but more of how much can both shoulders be softening to the earth. So with that left leg going up and over to the right, let the back of your head and shoulders come down onto the earth. I'm going to bring you here. And then let this thigh rest and see if that shoulder can come down to the ground. Perfect. Close or soften your eyes and really listen for the full depth of your breath. Can you trace the breath from the nose down into your belly? And as you exhale, picture your belly button moving from right to left, letting the whole left side of your body soften to the ground. Now on your next inhale, unwind and uncross your legs as you draw the left knee back through center. Lower the left foot down and give the right leg a hug in towards your belly or in towards your chest. Start with those small circles in the right foot or the ankle. Take notice of anything that you feel here from side to side, and a bigger breath in. And on your exhale, straighten the left leg long out in front of you. That same twist on the second side. Let your left hand hold your outer right thigh and move that right leg up and over to the left. Feel free to get any amount of blocks underneath that the right thigh or the right shin, just so the whole right leg can soften and the upper back can get heavier to the earth. As the back of your head softens to the ground, can you call yourself back to your breath? Take a deeper breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, let the belly spin from left to right so the right side of your body can get heavier to the ground. On your next inhalation, take your time, draw the right leg back up through center, and now give both legs a hug in towards your chest or in towards your belly. You might make some small circles, letting your knees and hips move clockwise or counterclockwise to massage on the low back. You might even come towards your version of happy baby, letting your hands catch the backs of your thighs or your calves or ankles, or pinky edges of your feet. But can the back of your head and your tush soften to the ground as you take a bigger breath in? And on your exhale, slowly release the hold of your legs. We'll make our way towards Shavasana, your pose of rest next. Some options, take anything that you need. You might have a rolled up blanket or 2 blocks underneath your knees. As you stretch your legs out long, this will help soften your low back to the earth. You might have a blanket over your belly or on your thighs to help steady you further down into the ground. Perhaps you let your hair down or let your glasses set safely off to the side. But as you find your way into any pose where you can be as comfortable as you possibly can, let your eyes fully close or soften as you listen for the sound of your breath. There's infinite versions of yourself that exist within you. There's versions that you know so intimately. There's versions of you that you have yet to discover. But as you lay here with all these versions of yourself against the earth, Can you let each soft and quiet breath let you dissolve the practice that was? Let each cycle of your breath help you arrive to where you are now. And each breath that comes after makes a little bit more space for what has yet to come. So as each of your breaths lets you become heavier against the earth, the heavier you become, the more spacious, the more expansive, and the lighter you may just begin to feel. Begin to deepen your breath. Take a longer breath in and a sweeter breath out. Take another breath in, down, and wide. And as you exhale, offer all of that breath out. Let your breath begin to slowly awaken the body that you're in and the very being that you are, with any gentle movements that just feel good to you. You might start by rolling your wrists or ankles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you tip your head from side to side, heavy against the ground. Or just watching for neighbors and any props around you. Perhaps you reach your arms away from your legs or draw your knees in towards your chest. But whenever the time comes, we'll all meet with the knees bent, arms overhead, as you roll over to any side of your choice to curl into yourself. The place from where it all began. Take your time to press down into the ground and come up to rise to your seat. As you find a tall spine, let the eyes be softly closed or softly open for you to listen for your breath. Take a deep breath in and down, let it fill you up. And as you exhale, offer the breath up and out through every fiber of your being. We'll finish our time here with each other with one more of those breaths, followed by the sound of one Om, a sound to invoke blessings upon ourselves and one another. But as you take a moment to place your hands to anywhere that feels like center for you, wait for your next inhale as it fills you up. And exhale to let all of that breath go. Inhale in for Om. You might bow your head to your hands or gently lift your hands to your head in such a sweet gesture of self-reverence, bowing to yourself and to one another who practiced right alongside next to you. And with all of our hearts, Kaushika and I bow to each and every one of you all. Thank you so, so much for being here. Thank you. Drink lots and lots of water. Take your allergy meds. It's advice for me too. I'll see you soon. If there's any things that you use from the studio that you want to wipe off, there's wipes here. They got refreshed. And while you're setting up, a couple of announcements. My beloved dad, who only comes to my night classes, he's putting on a concert this coming Sunday. It's free. It's at Studio 34 in West Philly. It's him and his sweet friends. He's going to be playing the tabla, the Indian drums, and the classical Indian flute that he's been getting Zoom lessons over in my personal home at 4:30 in the morning. He's very good. But I'm like, honey, can we do it at 6, not at 4:30? But he'll be playing those two instruments. His friend Manoj will be playing the harmonium and singing. And then their other friend will be playing some other percussion instruments. It's going to be the sweetest thing in the world. It's fully free. It's from 7 to 9 on Sunday. Bring anyone you like, leave whenever you like. But that's on Sunday. He's not announcing it, but I am. So I'll be there. Would love to see you. And then Rupa is coming virtually. She has written the Bhagavad Gita for kids. So if you like any of these stories that I've been sharing, she's a magic storyteller. And she'll be Zooming in from India, not this weekend, but next weekend from 12:30 to 2. You can do it with us in the space. You can do it from your own home. There'll be a recording. And she's just a gift. She could tell me anything and I would listen to her forever, but that's all online. Otherwise, I think that's it. What's going on with you? Anyone else have announcements that you want to share? Things happening in your world? There's a whole new lineup of classes at the studio. If you saw the Instagram, my heart exploded with all of the cute video content. Kishan, you got some stuff? You got October stuff going. This is Kishan,
Hello.
an angel on earth.
I have a vintage store around the corner called More Vintage Archive. We have one more event in October, next Thursday. We're having like an artist talk from like 7 to 9.
Thank you. And More Vintage Archive, Instagram. Beautiful things to look at. Okay. Yes.
Did Muriel tell you her revelation yesterday during class?
I heard Revelation.
Did you hear? Did Muriel tell you what she was telling the goddess
The cat
stories?
cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.